You're listening to What She Grows Through, a podcast dedicated to empower and uplift Black women to grow their self-worth. I'm your host, Chanel Amir, one of many dope Black women, creating a community for us to pour into and align with one another, uncovering our true feelings from sexuality to self-love, to begin growing through life and evolving into our best authentic selves. Let's get started. What's up, beautiful? It's your girl, Chanel Amir, back again with another episode of the What She Grows Through podcast, a space we created for our Black and Brown women to mindfully connect, grow, and bloom together into their fullest selves on this journey towards wholeness. I'm so excited to have you here rocking with me and extra excited about today's conversation. So, joining us today is the amazing Erikka Grayson. Erikka is an inspiring woman navigating the often complex world of motherhood, mental health, and self discovery. Our conversation today promises to be one filled with insights, shared experiences, and just powerful stories that resonate with so many of us. So, let's dive in. I have a special guest, someone whose journey will inspire us to, trust our inner strength and push us and, just another Black woman's story, giving her the platform to feel comfortable and flowing. And so I know a little bit about you, but I felt like just bringing you on the show and getting to know more about you in this way for other people to connect and join in with us. And then seeing how our collaborations and how our connection just continues to grow from here. So, welcome, Erikka.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I definitely appreciate, when we met at Emerald City, I just felt like you had this beautiful spirit about you, and we connected. And I know you're starting with the social media journey, as am I, trying to get my story out and just being super transparent as a mother to have those open and honest conversations. So I definitely love the fact that you're doing this and you asked me to do it, especially during the month of mothers. I mean, we're moms all year round, but this is the month that we are celebrated the most. So I definitely appreciate you. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is a time for us to just connect with other mothers because, like you're saying, we do it every day.
We do.
This month, it kind of focuses on the mother being the glue. But before we jump into all of that, if you were to introduce yourself and who you are in this moment, and can you share with us how you feel yourself expanding?
So my name is Erikka Grayson. I am a mother of 3, 2 I birthed, and 1 is my bonus daughter who's actually graduating from Older Dice in 2 weeks. So congrats to her. Yeah. I have been married. We'll be celebrating our 10 years this year. Life happens with everybody, the whole new term, life is lifing. But I feel like I'm just super resilient. I know when my mom said when I was a kid, no matter what happened to me, I was always able to cry it out, dust off my tears, and keep it pushing. Right. And I've had that same mentality since I was a kid, because I've just learned I got to keep going. It doesn't matter what happens in your life. You just got to keep going. But I'm also, not only am I a full-time employee, we have full-time jobs. I work for an organization called Geisinger Health Plan. But my passion projects, I am the co-founder and CEO of a little girl's clothing company called Avan Zoe Clothing. And I also am founder and CEO of my own personal brand called Bomb Moms, which I've kind of created a community of mothers on social media to talk about the things that you don't normally talk about when it comes to motherhood. I formulated that when I was pregnant with my son. I mean, that was 7, 8 years ago, and that's when social media and like these type of platforms were kind of starting, and people were kind of talking about this good side of motherhood. And then I realized after having my son, there's some tough times in motherhood that really wasn't talked about a lot. Postpartum depression, um, infertility, just a lot of
You're jumping
uh,
all you listen, you're jumping all into the conversation that I wanna have with you
yeah.
today. You're doing all the things multifaceted like myself. So, like,
Yeah.
you're just saying all these things, and it just gets me so excited to, like, just hear how it unfolded, like, and how you became to get to this point. So, I want to if it was, everyone, all your titles,
Yes.
who is Erikka in this moment? Just Erikka. And then how do you feel yourself like starting to become this Erikka who's able to handle all these things in this moment with the mindset that you have, right now?
So I like the way, and I appreciate you just saying my first name, because for me that stands alone and it's a lot. Um, Me getting married, I lost myself, 1,000% lost myself. Um, and me not being from Pittsburgh, I'm a transplant originally from Washington D.C. People only knew me as my husband's wife. Like they didn't know who I was. They knew I was attached to a very prominent family in this city. So I kind of got lost in the sauce. I formed into a lot of little groups that maybe I wouldn't have been invited to if it wasn't for my husband. And I forgot who Erikka is. I think today I can stand on my own 2 feet and just say I am Erikka. Whatever that may look like for you, I am strong. I'm resilient. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a friend. I'm an entrepreneur. But I am so blessed that I can say that yes, I did lose who I was for a very long time. But like today, I am so comfortable in my skin and able to set those healthy boundaries around me to be able to stand in my own 2 feet and in my own truth.
I absolutely love that. Like, didn't it even feel good
It
to
it
like
feels
just
good, but you know what,
say
Chanel?
all
For
of
the
that?
longest, I couldn't say that, and I think honestly through therapy, I'm able to recognize in myself that I was not in a good place. Like my dad passed away almost 4 years ago, and he was such an advocate for me. Like I love my mom, 1,000%, but I was a daddy's girl, and he believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. So to keep his memory alive for me and me being his only child is to remember that my dad was a shit. I don't know if you can cuss in this podcast, but he was
You
a shit.
can. You can.
And he believed in me, and he always used to say, Erikka, you're amazing. I don't care who says anything about you. Like you are smart, you're gifted, you people love you, and you don't even know why. And I had lost myself so much, I didn't even know why I was here anymore. But like I it feels good to even like exhale of that shedding of those that skin of not knowing who I was for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And I feel like the self-awareness to see how far you've grown, in that in those moments, in this moment now, that self-discovery part is so crucial. And it's so crazy, like just trying to explain the moment that it happens, like is almost like, what was I doing before? oh my goodness, like I'm so aware of like, my feelings and how I want to show up. And I'm a different person with different things. Like, you're a mom, so then you have to put on this mom persona, and
Yeah.
then you're an entrepreneur, you have to do this thing. You have to be a wife, you have to be a friend, you have to be a sister, all these different titles. But then like having that time to figure out like what is it that we like. And
Yeah. No.
honestly, for myself, it was once I stopped being in relationships,
Mm,
because I realized I was always trying to be in a relationship because I didn't want to be what I've seen my mom, and just different relationships and stuff, like bringing them around kids. Like, I didn't want that. I wanted a foundation, but like, I feel like maybe I took it too far, or that's where the trauma comes in at. So I'm always in a relationship from early on, 14, boom, in another one. And then like, I'm losing myself in these certain relationships. And then after I had my son, like now I got a now I got an actual kid. So it stopped being the focus on me and just spiraling. Maybe you had to really sit with yourself, because now everything is different. Like
no.
now you're a mom, now you experience that. So you might not even have been healed from this situation, but now you got to add another title to that.
Another layer.
Exactly. So it's so hard. And then we get lost in all of these titles that we forget who we are. Like I like to dance. I used to draw.
Yeah, no, I 1000% get it. You forget that you were a person before those
Hmm.
titles. Like you were Chanel first, but then now your mom, and then you were girlfriend. Like it takes a toll. It definitely does. It definitely does. I would definitely agree to that.
Right. And it's like all of our stories, although very different, like the lessons in it, we're all learning different lessons, and that contribute to our self-discovery journey as we keep learning these different things about us, and still having the time to focus on us and making sure we're okay and doing what we need to do,
Yeah,
like for
yeah.
ourselves, like that self-trust, that self-love, self-care, all of that.
Most
So yeah, that I feel like we can just talk like so much,
No,
like
no, I get it. Like you can't pour from an empty cup.
exactly.
Like you can't. And I have honestly learned that it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to say no. And that was very hard for me because I am a yes man. I would, even if I didn't want to do it, I would do it because it's Erikka. Erikka will do it. Like it's one of those things like nobody would ever think that I would ever say no to something. But honestly, like me setting those boundaries for family, for friend, like my mother, like I don't care who you are. Like these are the boundaries that are in my life. If you can't abide by those boundaries, then you can be upset outside of my circle because I can't. Um, for my own mental health, my own
Hmm.
mental health. Like I dealt with postpartum horribly after having my son. Like I felt alone. I felt you know what's so crazy though, Chanel? You made a statement like you were trying to be like, consistently wanted to be in a relationship. I felt like a single mom in my marriage when after having my son. Um my and specifically in my situation, my husband had a daughter when he was young, but she lived with her mother. So the child that we created together was really his first hands-on really experience with a partner and a child in the house together. Um, I felt alone trying to breastfeed when my milk didn't come in because my son was 6 weeks early. I was frustrated that I wasn't able to do the one thing as a mother you felt like you should be able to do. Um, I didn't feel the support and the necessary love from my husband. And I don't really think it was, now that I can look back, I'm not in that situation anymore. I can look back where he was just frustrated that I was frustrated. But in the moment, I just felt like you don't care. And I think honestly, that's what kind of spiraled me into postpartum horribly. It's crazy when you sit back and really think about what you went through and how you would have done it differently. I would have started therapy a lot sooner after having my son. I would have asked for help. I think because I'm such a resilient, strong individual. I felt like I could do it by myself. Where I'm sure there would have been people to help me, but my ego. I was like, I got this. I'm a mom. This is what I'm built to do. Like, we're supposed to. But honestly, if you look back in, long time ago when people lived in cul-de-sacs and everybody lived together, it was a village that's raised these kids. It wasn't one woman. It was everybody in a house or in a school cottage. And it wasn't just them, because raising kids is not easy, like at all. So I'm blessed to know, and that feeling that I'm not there, but I will always pay homage to where I've been. Right. Like I'm glad that I went through it. I'm transparent about me feeling alone. I've told my husband I had felt alone, and I'm okay with whatever came from it. Like, we can't grow unless you know where I've been.
Yeah. Wow. Dang, let me write that down. Hold on. We can't grow, right?
Yes, unless you know where I've been. Like, you have to understand where I've been as a person, because honestly, everybody's so different. Like, my seeds are different than your seeds. I can't help you. I can't help you if I don't know what your foundation was. Like, I can tell you all day that what you should do, right? But how you grew up is not the same the way I grew up. I grew up with a 2-parent household, and I still got issues.
Right.
I still got it, right? Like, life is crazy, but we're making it work as moms now.
Right. Exactly. Because now you have not just you to figure out, like to heal and to continue to grow, but now you have to grow other trees around you, so all the stuff that is going to be dropping from your tree, they're going to be picking up, right? Like, so we trying to like get the best tree that we can get, like, so that we can nourish our other little babies. And yeah, like, so I was over here writing and taking notes, because like I feel like this is why I needed to connect with you, because like everything that you were saying, I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is why we should be connecting. Let me finally send her her invitation that I've been saying, because life be lifing, right? We ain't talking about that right now.
Yes.
Just everything that you were saying, like, let's just start off with how you felt like you were alone in when you became a mom. Let's talk about how a lot of us deal with that as postpartum, and especially our first ones, and not knowing that it's postpartum, not necessarily having the support that you need, not really taking care of ourselves mentally, even having a therapist. Like, all these different things are coming at us, like all moving together, right? And then being a mom, you want to be the best mom. Now that's taken over with the breastfeeding. Like, I only got to 6 months with my son, and like my daughter, it was like 12. It was 12 weeks, and I was just like, I try my best. It'll be okay. Like, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. Like,
yeah,
that is tough.
Yeah.
Right, that's tough, and then just feeling like, you were a single mom, that's how I broke the I guess, the chain for myself, because in that moment, the postpartum, feeling like I was alone, realizing that maybe I made a mistake in the father that I chose, and that I was so focused on, having a child, like, because I wanted to have all these things. Like, I wanted to have the guy, like, not realizing that I should have taken time to myself to figure my shit out. But we still got Bryce out of the deal. Anyway, the thing about it is some of the hurtful things that, like, he would say, like, this is what you wanted, right? When I'm the only one getting up for this kid, like, all the time, I gotta do all these things. Now I gotta work and take care of the household. And, like, I'm not supposed to be doing all this, but I can't. So it was just too much for me. And I when I look back and reflect, I'm happy that, like, because I have that mental health, like, background, I know the things that I need to do. Like, it's just having the courage and stuff to
Do
actually
it.
get that, to be aware that this is not what I want. I do not want to feel like I'm walking on eggshells, like, like, no, this is not what I want for my son to see me grow into. So I had to get over it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it broke it. And I stayed single for like 4 years. Like, I mean, yeah, there was seeing what I actually liked, because I was just a kid, like, in long relationships. Like, and now, like, that was how I related to you in that, because now
No, I get it.
I can
No,
spiral on with that.
no, I
But
get
then the
it.
other one, you're saying just starting therapy, like, earlier. Like, I
Yeah,
know that that's a game changer.
no, most definitely. So what I will say is I don't regret my children at all.
Of course.
But what I will say is if I had to do it all over again, I I would have waited a little longer before having them. We got
Right.
married at 27. And 10, 15 years ago, that was the time everybody was getting married, right? Like that was the thing to do. I mean, I fell in love, we were in love, we got married. I got pregnant the following year. And they always say that first year of marriage is rough, and it was. And we probably shouldn't have gotten pregnant then. We probably should have worked on our marriage more because after having a kid, it didn't make us like each other anymore. It just kind of put when we weren't getting sleep, it made the the frustration and anger towards each other heightened because we're tired because there's another person in our home.
Right.
Um, and there's an absolute reason why there's a 5 year difference between my kids because we had some work to do. We had some separate work to do. And we had some marriage work to do to make sure this is what we want. Um, and if we want another child together. Um, and that was a tough pill to swallow because I don't like making a lot of mistakes. And I didn't, and not that I felt like I made a mistake with my husband, but I definitely felt like if this is not what's good for me, I need to figure out what's next for me. So we worked on it, and COVID. My baby's a COVID baby. We were at home.
Right. Right.
But I feel like if people, and I know it's such a huge stigma, especially in the Black community, not to get therapy. I think everybody needs a therapist. I don't even think if you feel good, you don't need a therapist. You need somebody to talk to who is an unbiased person who don't know you from Adam to really be able to talk about the things that are happening in your life, in your marriage, as being a mother, figuring out those ins and outs. Because when you start unraveling and really having those open, honest conversations, you would realize a lot about yourself, a lot. And I think that's what really helped me be able to navigate to who I am today. right? I wasn't able to do that back then because I was so in my feelings. I was a new mom, a new wife, new friends, the mommy crew, right? Like keeping up with the Joneses, losing the weight, trying to healthy eatish, like trying to be fit, trying to fit back in my old clothes, trying to still be a wife because girl, it be rough. It be
Right.
rough. It's rough.
Right.
Like I'm tired. I don't want to do certain things. Like I and then you feel like you're failing as a wife. And then, trying to make sure your kids ain't eating Cheetos every day, failing as a mom. But you know what? Honestly, I got rid of those thoughts. Like, okay, you had Cheetos today. You had Is that what you want for dinner? Cool. I'm not gonna stress about it. Because I know the other 3 days out of the rest of the week, I'm gonna make sure you have a balanced meal. There's like I can't stress. I can't. I really can. And I think that in itself, once I let those obstacles kind of like away, life was a lot easier.
Right. And that's what it's all about, like being able to take the challenges, because there's always going to be something, especially when other titles are added. So just being able to continue on and not go insane.
Yeah. That's what this is about.
Like, so you need these nourishments to like help you grow. Like it's you can't grow on your own. You can
Yes.
do your inner growth, but you need people. You need that connection. We need people. We're all in this together,
And let me tell you
especially
something.
Black women,
Yeah, let me tell you something I started to do every quarter. I tell him I don't even have to go anywhere outside of the city of Pittsburgh. I told my husband, I said, look, from Friday morning to Sunday morning, I'm going to go to an Airbnb and sit there. Don't call me. Don't text me. Unless there's something wrong with the kids and you're on the way to the hospital, I will see you Sunday morning. And literally, when I tell you, Chanel, that has been the best game changer for me of being able to sleep by myself, like know what's for dinner. Uh, mommy, can you take me somewhere? It's like I'm able to sit and watch TV that I'm not able to do on a regular basis, drink wine in bed, like just stuff that like fills my soul.
That's who Erica is. Like,
Yes.
like
I
getting back to that, like, just letting you be with Erica, you
Yeah.
being with her, and
'Cause
that's it.
let me tell you something. I actually love being by myself. And I love me. And it could be because I am an only child and that's just how I grew up. But I love really just getting back to understanding and being mindful for what Erica needs. And what Erica needs is alone time sometimes. Like, and I am okay with that. And at first my husband was kind of like, you don't want to be with us? Like for my birthday, that's exactly what I did. I said, I absolutely do not. I love you, but I don't want to be with you this weekend. I want to be by myself. And you have to be okay with that.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah. Everybody needs a weekend by themselves. It's so funny.
Right.
I'm actually contemplating doing a solo trip. Like just I don't know where. The world's kind of crazy, so it might not be international. But
Right. That's
I really I really just want to go to like Texas or something by myself and just explore and eat and drink and go back to sleep.
that would be love. Just like not having nothing to do, just doing whatever you want to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So I feel like we can just talk like forever and ever about, like everything that you're saying, like resonating with, and it's just amazing how like when we tell our stories, we see the connections, we see like how they align with each other. So just in terms of our next question, you know, everyone every one of us, we have a big why, that compelling reason that pushes us to share our stories and overcome so many of these self-limiting beliefs. Erica, can you share with us what your big why is and what self-limiting belief that you have to grow through.
Wow. My big why. I love my daughter, but my big why was my son. After my dad died, I wasn't sure if I wanted to have any more kids. But dealing with his death by myself was really, really hard for me. I was in a very, very dark place for a very, very long time. But I knew that my son deserved a partner. My son deserved someone. The reason why I started Bomb Moms was because of my son. Him coming into my life 6 weeks before he was supposed to, not on schedule, because I'm a schedule girl, really showed me I'm not in control. And he continuously shows me how amazing the world is. He pushes me to want to be better. He comes home and he's in the first grade, but he is so far beyond his years. And talks to me about, how was your day, Mom? And how would it make you better? Like, how can I help you? Like, those kind of questions.
Mm-hmm.
He makes me want to be a better mother. He makes me want to be a better person. He makes me want to be a better friend. And I don't know anybody in my life that I outside of my dad, that I'm striving to be better for.
Mm-hmm.
It really is because of Xavier.
Wow.
Yeah. I love that little boy.
Right. So in terms of just your why and having to deal with all of these things, what would be the self-limiting belief that you feel like in those moments that you had to grow through to be the Erikka who's able to share that story, with us and not cry or, like actually expand on it?
I feel that my story is not super unique, right? But it's I had to let go of the fear of failing. Like I said before, I not that I'm a perfectionist, but I don't like to fail at things. When I was a kid, if I knew I couldn't do it, I would just sit on the sideline. Like, I was okay with not being good at certain stuff. But the only way I'm going to learn is trying. And honestly, learning that if I try and fail, that's okay. It really is okay. I just got to figure out the next best way to do it. So yeah, just pushing myself to be okay and not care about the opinions of others. Yeah, that was tough because I said, like, I'm a people pleaser and like I'm a yes man. I care too much, probably to a fault, how people view me and how people see me. Chanel, let me tell you something. I don't give a shit now. I don't care. If you don't like me, it's okay. I'm not in this earth for you.
Right.
I'm not here made for you. So, and that's fine. Just stay that way and I'll go that way. Like, I'm okay with that, but it took me a while to get there. So continuously just pushing myself and being okay with failing and just striving to be a better Erikka, whatever that may look like for me. Erikka at 37 years old may be different at Erikka at 47, but I am excited for the growth.
Right.
And just seeing where life takes me, where Bomb Mom takes me, where Ava and Zoe takes me, where my kids take me, where my husband, I'm just excited to learn and to live that dash. Like, when you die, you have the year you were born and the year you die. I'm excited to grow within that dash. So That's how I feel.
Yes, girl, like, I'm trying listen, like, when how you're talking just has my mind just, like, with all the different things, like, that I can just touch on, or all the different, like, episodes that I can expand on from, from fear of failing, and how we all have different versions of this same lesson that we have to continue to grow through. Like, being uncomfortable in these situations, afraid of the unknown. Like, what happens when you do? We're thinking of all the negatives, because that's honestly, we're being human. That's who, like, we were always in a defense mode, but now it's the the lions and tigers, like, we don't got to worry about that no more. Now we can actually live this model. I don't know if you're familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of
Oh,
needs.
yeah.
Yeah, like, it's so crazy to actually think about, like, all the things that I was learning in, like, college, and actually applying them now. Like, it all makes sense. See, they're understanding mental health is important. Like, it's literally, it's here. But just in terms of that, like, our survival, and actually being able to be in this self actualization, actually healing ourselves, and um it comes with a lot of fear.
It does.
Like, there's so much. I have that, and then, like, I'm also struggling with the fear of success. Like,
I'm in the same
like, it's this, and then it's this, but, like, knowing what you're afraid of, actually getting to the root of, like, well, why? Like, like, what are you really afraid of that uncomfortableness, of how that makes you feel, of how others see you, like, you actually trying to grow in this moment, being you, and people not accepting that, afraid of maybe doing that. But then when you learn to do more of that self love, and turning all this stuff inward, that is all a mindset thing. Like, if we can get ourselves together, we can start, overcoming these things.
Yep. No,
And
I
every
definitely.
day, trying hard, like, we know when we're uncomfortable, that's a good spot, because we're able to grow from that. There's lessons. I feel like it's all a lesson, because we're lifelong, we should be lifelong learners, like, forever. I tell my son that now, like, I'm still learning, and I'm excited about that.
I may
So,
not be getting a grade for it, but we learning.
right. Right, but then having that gratitude of all these different things that's in your life, that you can learn and grow in that area. I like to have the metaphor of a tree. Like, these branches are our titles, and then how do those expand? And then also, like, the 12 areas of balance, I believe. Um I'm gonna get more information on that, but,
Yeah.
like, that really helped me in terms of just breaking my life down in categories and branches. Your love relationships, like being a mom, all these titles, being creative, like, using your skills, what you're good at, being
Yeah.
able to pour into your community from your overflow, not from what's in your cup. It should be, like, ever pouring, but finding ways to continue to pour into yourself also. I think that's been crucial, and you're on that journey now, being blessed with all the different things that you have in your life, and being able to grow, like, so many different things, even with your businesses, seeing that grow, and being able to
Every
be
day.
mindful of that journey, on the while you're on it, like, wow, that's great. This is why it's important to journal. So when we get older, and we're, like, looking back, and, like, oh, look at
Here's
where
what I
little
went.
Chanel was right there.
No, I agree. I definitely agree with you.
Wow. That I feel like that was just everything that you've been saying just sparks, like, so much in me. It just is like word vomit. Like, it's so powerful. So, reflecting on your journey thus far, like, how does it align with your interpretation of what she grows through?
Well, so when I looked at your title, What She Grows Through, I I love the title, first of all. But it really embodies who this journey that I'm on. This um yes, motherhood journey, but just life journey,
Mhm.
right? And like I said, I pray and I'm so excited to see where I am at 47. But I am blessed to know that I've grown since I was 17. Like I'm not the same Erica. I'm not the same Erica that I should grow. And just every obstacle that I've been through marriage, through losing friendships, put that on your list of things you can talk about on the next series, because that is a big thing as well. You know, you get married when someone dies, and when you have children is where you find who your people are.
Mm. Mm.
Definitely. But like this life journey of just
Yet
growing.
again. Sorry.
Swear, like I have lost people who I never would have thought I would have lost in my life. And they're fine. They're not dead. They're just not in my life anymore. And
Right.
but for me, it was a complete death. Complete death in my life. But no, like just the growing of a person, the growing of a woman, finding myself mentally and spiritually, um medically, like just my health, and just being able to be the best version, not only for me, not only for my kids, but for everybody that I'm in contact with. I want to be able to fill your cup just as well, as much as I want you to fill mine. And however that may look like in our life, and anybody I come in touch with, I would love for everybody to have great things to say about me. If you don't, that's cool too. But like I want the growth in that to be okay.
Right. That's that connection. You
Yeah.
know? Dang, I wonder what you are in terms of like human design.
I don't know, is that a thing?
Yes, like I've been learning so much about it, and I'm like, I'm a projector, so it's
Hmm.
like we're more here to like guide and connect like people together, and like this leadership role, and it's just like, dang, I connecting with you and feeling how like you connect with others, and it's just like, wow, we really can do something, like like, or we really are making an impact by sharing our stories,
Most
by sharing how we're growing, and that we're all doing it, like like in different ways, but like these lessons are all still the same, and by coming together and connecting and trying to just grow in all these different areas, I feel like it's wow.
definitely.
Right. Like, and even when you're talking about like losing friendships in order to grow, because you might not have been, you're not that person that you put up boundaries that can just, pick and choose how they want to show up in your life. I've definitely had to do that, and I feel like life is hard. Like you got to choose your heart, like so when you come across making them hard choices, them hard decisions, like as long as you're growing from it, like like you're learning and being a better person from that decision, like, or you was making the best decision that you could in that moment to grow, you know
Mhm.
um it's is wild for real, and then you just learn to accept it, and then choose other flowers to like bloom with,
Yeah,
like and it's okay. They just wasn't for you, like, and it's okay. Or you appreciate where they left off in your journey, and keep
everybody
it
has a
pushing.
season. Everybody
Yeah.
has a season.
Like,
Nope.
I appreciate you for there, like, no hard feelings, like, but this is our lives,
Let me tell you, the only people in my life that will always travel in my season are my kids. I, I stand by that. I love my husband. I even love everybody that's around me. But if I'm not, if you're not right for the season that I'm in that this moment, or vice versa. If I'm not right for the season that they're in,
Right. I might not be, you know?
it's okay. It's okay. And
We get to choose.
I think the realization of like really like realizing that and not breaking down because of it is growth,
Hmm.
right? I feel like people are just like, you want to hold on to these friendships or these relationships in your life that are toxic. I'm not with the toxicity. So
Because it pours over into so much other stuff,
other stuff,
you
because
know?
now I'm mad and I'm now being mean to my kids when they ain't even do nothing.
Right. Like I was doing so good over here. Like, like, all right, yeah, I'm sorry. Gotta go.
Yeah, I get
Like,
it. And I think it kind of reiterates to the fact of like through therapy, I was able just to really understand who I am and what I need.
right.
Because I don't think a lot of people are very aware and can vocalize what they need and want. And understanding what helps me and what keeps me going, I'm able to understand my worth more.
Hmm.
And understanding like this is what I need from everybody in my life. And I stand strong in that. I do, and I trust myself before I trust the masses, and
Hmm.
that's basically what I've learned through like sessions in therapy, even in my marriage counseling. Like it's rough. We definitely have our rough moments, but like understanding and um, doing self work and really sitting alone with myself of what I need is super helpful.
Right. And just having the courage to just continue to display that and
Yeah,
doing
most,
what's best for you. Like,
most definitely.
for sure. Um, that's really inspiring. And, your story is a testament of, to this word that I've just been using, like just sprinkling it everywhere, like resilience.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I like this word more versus the strong black woman. Like let's
be
get into the deep parts of what we really are, like and how I was about to say strong.
how resilient we are.
Exactly, like just choosing choosing different ways of, looking and of seeing and of growing. And are there any other tips that you would give to black women to support their self-discovery journeys?
Tips: don't be afraid to ask for help.
Mhm.
I think you when you use that word strong, I think we it's ingrained in us as
Mhm.
children to be this image of strength. Um, we're not strong all the time, and that's okay.
Mhm.
I think that is usually the the catalyst that spirals us when we think that we don't need help.
Right.
That was my catalyst for thinking I didn't need help. Um, being okay with not being okay, right? Like it's
Mhm.
okay not to feel your best. It's okay to want to take a break, and that is okay too. And just learning to love yourself, however that may look like for you, whether that is picking up an old hobby. Like you said, you like to draw. I used to play the cello. I
Mhm.
used to run. I did a few marathons in my life so far. Just doing something that brings you joy. I think that is something that can continuously fill your cup and allow you to fill others.
Right. For sure. Those are some really good tips. Um, I'm just trying to think of like, how I can even follow up from that because I'm trying to think of like, like how those can be beneficial, like, for me in my life and how I can continue to show up. Um, like I feel like it's important for us to share our resources, share what's really working for us, share what's not, being okay with not being okay. And learning that we can sit in those moments, and maybe being aware of how you're feeling in this moment. I think those are the perfect times to journal or document. I think I'm I actually put it I did it. So, I had a breakdown a couple maybe last week, just with all the titles just weighing on me and wanting to do good and all these things, but wanting to make sure I'm good. So
Yep.
now I have to do these things that I know that I should be doing. And that's where the uncomfortableness comes in. And that's where, you're trying to build good habits, better habits. So like taking those breaks, taking breaks all the time. Now if I'm overwhelmed, I got to take a nap.
Yes.
It will be okay because entrepreneur are tasks. They just keep going. Mommy, tasks, they just keep going. And all we're thinking about is just checking them off, oh, what's on to the next? Did you eat? No. No, I didn't eat. Chanel, you need, no.
Need fuel.
Exactly. So I had one of those breakdowns, and instead of just going in and I filmed myself because
Mhm.
I wanted to actually document myself in this moment, you know?
Wow.
And then I just let it go. And I didn't care because sometimes still when I'm behind the camera, I still get nervous, because I'm worried about like who's going to see it, how they're going to see it, how they're going to view me. But I didn't even think about all that. Maybe this is just for myself, and it needs to be. Maybe I need to start building these things for myself to like help myself grow, So I did that and it felt really good. And then after that, I had a brand shoot, and everything was good. But I'm happy that I had that, or
Yeah.
even just journaling how you feel in this moment, using voice notes. And then once you get it out, you
You
let
feel
it
much
go,
better.
right? And then now you can kind of just start feeling yourself back up with the you need a toolkit,
Yeah.
like, with these different coping skills and things, and that can be how you're recharging, so that we can continue to get back out here
Got you.
on
Yep.
this journey, and then that's all part of the story. I feel like that's all the wisdom that comes. That's what makes us just grow into better people. Like all this wisdom, like it had to happen. I had to be at this point to just appreciate where I am, and stop being afraid of like how far I can go. Like I
Got you.
read this book, The Big Leap. So it's been helping me, I be upper limiting like I'm a like
I love it.
right, but it's really me versus me. So just having to continue on with that. So that's kind of what brought me to just your tips and trying to process the things that you're saying, because it allows me to get creative and actually explore these different things in my mind, like this is soothing for me,
Yeah.
but it helps so many other people, like it in just all the ways.
Most
So uh, thank you for that, Erica. To wrap up, could you share with our listeners how they can stay connected with you and engage with any of your offerings, or just get all up in your business?
So, my personal Instagram is Erica Brittany, ErikkaBrittany. And it's so funny. I'm gonna tell you a little funny story about me changing my name on my personal Instagram. For the longest, it was Mrs. Grayson. Like that was my
Yeah.
name. And through therapy, it was so crazy. I went to go visit my best friend in Chicago 2 birthdays ago. And while I was there, I changed my name to Erica Brittany, and that's what my dad used to call me, Erica Brittany. Like he was the only person in the world that would call me Erica Brittany. And my husband saw it and he texted me. He was like, "Oh, so we're changing Instagram names now?" I said, "No, I'm just being me. Like I'm being Erica first. Like I love you. I love my last name, but I was Erica before I was that. And this is where I'm standing with." So that kind of like circles it all back together from our today. But yeah, so that's my brand, The Bomb Moms, THEBOMBMOS_. You can follow me there. My clothing company, Avan Zoe Clothing. And you can shop on avanzoeclothing.com. And I am on both Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
Okay, girl.
Girl, I'm trying.
Right.
I need a
just know that there's a lot that goes in that, you know, like having multiples, like having these passions and actually pursuing it passionately. You know, like I love that. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here and, you know, working with me to get through my anxiety of just being late and just not really all the way ready, you know.
You were perfect. This conversation filled my cup as much as I hope it filled yours.
It did. I feel like, look, I got notes. I got the amazing video, you know. I can't wait to. I think this is going to be definitely what we need, you know, to hear more of.
Perfect. I love it.
Your journey is definitely, no doubt, will inspire like our listeners to, you know, trust their inner strength and continue growing through their unique paths and sharing their voices and then making those connections, you know, and keeping those people close to you to continue to grow.
Nice.
So yeah, and to our listeners, thank you for joining us today. I usually don't even put the farewells. I do that separate, but and just remember we're all growing through something. And that's why I love what she grows through, because we changing that narrative, figuring out, like, you know, all these things that we're going through. If we can see the good in that and be able to use this word, you know, mindfulness, you know, just exploring that, we can continue to empower and inspire each other, like on this journey towards wholeness, our complete tree, you know.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's a wrap for today's dope conversation with Erikka Grayson. Erikka, thank you so much for opening your heart and just sharing your journey of motherhood, of mental health, and self discovery. Your strength, beautiful, your resilience, and your authenticity just truly inspires us. And to our listeners, thank you especially for your continued support and for growing with us. I'm so grateful for this community and just this platform to share our stories. Today's episode was brought to you on a very special day. Our What She Grows Through website has finally launched. Oh my goodness. If you've been rocking with me for some time now, you know how important this is. Today is what we've been waiting for, honestly. And I'm so excited to share this with you all. And I just can't wait for you all to just see the amazing things that we've been creating. So head over to the website and take a look around. We love to hear your thoughts, your encouraging words, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at What She Grows Through for more empowering content and updates. And all the links to connect with Erikka will be in the show notes. Remember, beautiful, that together we will continue to mindfully grow through life with our eyes wide open and aware, while continuing and empowering other Black women along the way. Continue planting beautiful seeds that will nurture not only your garden, but others as well. I look forward to talking with you again. Until then.